Hi everyone! In this tutorial, we will create a responsive scroll animation using GSAP ScrollTrigger. We'll add an active icon animation when each image appears. There is also a skew animation while scrolling. On desktop, images will scroll vertically. They will also move horizontally as we scroll on smaller devices. Let's get started. Let's begin with the HTML. First, we add the CDN link to use Font Awesome icons. Inside this section, there are two main parts, the text container and the image container. The text container features a title and a list of key points. The list has 4 items, and each item includes an icon and text. The image container has 4 images. The number of images and items must be equal for the icon animation to work properly. Now let's move on to the CSS. In this part, we will style the layout, icons, text, and images. We use Google Fonts for the title and text. We set 2 CSS variables for the icon width and margin to use them easily in styles. This makes the page scroll smoothly. We use a grid layout to create 2 columns. We make the text container sticky, so it stays fixed while we scroll the images. We also center it vertically and align the items to the left. In each list item, the icon and text are aligned in a row. The icon box has a fixed width and height. It also centers the icon inside. Each icon has a different background color. We hide the icons by moving them left. Then we make them slide in when the list item becomes active. The text is partially transparent when it is not active. We move it left to overlap the hidden icon. We set its vertical position to align it with the icon. It becomes fully visible and moves to the right when the list item is active. We set the image container height to fill the entire screen. Each image wrapper is centered both vertically and horizontally inside the image container. After setting up the vertical scroll animation, we'll come back to the CSS for media queries. In this part, we will add scroll animations, skew effects, and activate related items. First, we'll create vertical scrolling. Then we'll create horizontal scrolling for smaller screens. Now we add the CDN links to use GSAP and ScrollTrigger. This plugin enables ScrollTrigger animations. We select all images and all list items. This proxy object stores the skew value, and this setter changes the image's vertical skew smoothly during scroll. This arranges the images vertically with 800 pixel spacing. The total scroll distance equals the sum of all image spacing. We set the initial vertical positions of images with spacing. Now we create a vertical scroll timeline. The animation starts when the top of the container reaches the top of the viewport. Scrolling continues until the total image distance is covered. We use pin to keep the image container fixed while scrolling. This prevents layout jumps by starting the pin a bit sooner. This function runs every time the scroll updates. We calculate the skew value based on the scroll speed. If the new skew is greater than the previous one, we update it. Then we smoothly reset the skew back to 0 to create a dynamic scrolling effect. This moves the images up to create the vertical scroll animation. This function activates the correct list item. It adds the active class to the related item. This makes the opacity and margin changes in the text and icon visible. This scroll trigger watches each image wrapper. It starts when the top of the image reaches the center of the screen. It ends when the bottom of the image reaches the center of the screen. When scrolling forward or backward through the section, the function is run to highlight the matching item. Now we set the image's transform origin for the skew effect. Finally, we refresh scroll trigger to update the calculations. We'll now add media queries to make the layout responsive. We change the icon sizes, grid columns, text padding, and image size for screens smaller than 1200 pixels. We create a single column layout with 2 rows. The text container is positioned fixed near the left side on small screens. We use auto height for the image container. The images move slightly to the right for better alignment. Now we will make this animation responsive using ScrollTrigger matchMedia. We create horizontal scrolling if the screen width is 900 pixels or smaller. Now we wrap the vertical scroll logic inside matchMedia. We remove this for the horizontal scrolling, but we'll add a function instead. We update a proxy for the horizontal skew effect. We arrange the image spacing for horizontal scrolling. This shifts all images further to the right so the first image is visible. We also update the start setting. This makes the animation start when the bottom of the image container reaches the bottom of the viewport. This moves the images left to create the horizontal scrolling effect. This function checks all images to find which one is closest to the center. We set minimum difference to infinity, so any real number difference will be smaller than it at first. We set the default active item index. We get the current X position. We calculate the absolute distance from the center. If the distance is smaller than the current minimum difference, the minimum difference is updated with this new, smaller distance. The active index is set to this image's index. Then the icon and text animations are activated by calling the function. And there you have it. We created a responsive vertical and horizontal scroll animation with GSAP ScrollTrigger. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more creative projects. Thanks for watching.